Vanessa's a YouTuber. I know shit's gonna hit the fan, but like how? I don't have the highest of opinions, I guess, about this book. Power through and get this book done. Weirdest romance I've ever read. Not feeling the best. In this video, we're going to be doing a 24-hour readathon. Obviously, you guys saw from the title below, you'll know what this is, but I am going to be doing the timer method for today. I've done, I think, 24-hour reading straight the last time I did this, and I'm kind of missing the timer method. With that method, I don't really need to rush my reading. I don't feel like I need to read a lot of books in one day, so I'm going to do the timer method for today's readathon. Also, hi, hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, hi, my name is Vivian. On my phone, I'm going to do a stopwatch, 24 hours, and then we're going to be reading books as we go. And I do have a stack of books that I really want to get through, which is why I want to do a 24-hour readathon. Sometimes I feel like I don't know what book I want to read, but this time around I actually know what books I want to read. So I have a stack of books here. This is very ambitious, by the way. I don't think I'm going to get through every single one of them, but these are the books I really want to get into. You guys see everything is kind of heavy because I have a lot of thick books on here. But these are the stack of books. I have 6 on here. First one we have is Life's Too Short by Abby Jimenez. I don't have the cover with me because I took it off because I'm actually currently reading this. I don't like to read hardcovers with the flap on, so this is the one I'm reading currently. I am at page 18, chapter 3. Not a lot. I just started reading it this morning. This is the last book of Abby Jimenez's backlist I need to get into, so I want to read this ASAP. And then we have Jade Legacy by Fonda Lee, last book in the Green Moon Saga trilogy, which is also why I want to get into it. Also part of my May TBR, really want to finish this. Rule of the Aurora King by Nisha J. Tooley. I might be buddy reading this with my friend, which is why it's a part of this whole stack. But if my friend doesn't read it, I won't be reading it. But just in case she ends up reading it this week, I have it on hand. This is the second book following Trial of the Sun Queen. I didn't really like the first book, but I have the second book, so I'm going to read it. I have Next of Kin by Hannah Bonham Young. This is my too tired of reading, so I'll just pick up a rom-com book. I read Out on a Limb by her and I really like that one. I figured this one would be a great option. And then I have As Good As It by Holly Jackson. This I think is the only one that I'm not excited to get into, but I know I have to read. It's the last book in the Good Girls Guide to Murder series, and so I just feel like I need to get into it finally, but I'm creeped out by this. Honestly, really scared by it. Last book we have is Yellowface by R.F. Kuang, and I have this one on hand because I feel like I need a lit fic book in the middle of these books, and also May TBR. So I have this here. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get through everything, but I definitely will be reading Life's Too Short right now. So that's the first book we're gonna start with. This is a part of an interconnected standalone series. The first 2 books called The Friend Zone and the Happy Ever After playlist. Both books I have in reading vlogs. I'll try to link them down below. But this is the last book and I just want to get it done finally. So I am gonna pick this up. From what I've read so far, at least, they're both neighbors. The FMC and the MMC live side by side, and the MMC, Adrian, he actually owns the whole building, and the FMC, she is a YouTuber, and the FMC recently has a newborn baby. It's actually her sister's baby. Her sister abandoned the baby and she has to take care of the baby. I didn't read the flap when I started this, so I am as blind as you guys are. And obviously with Abby Jimenez, I love her writing, so I'm gonna have fun with this. I just want to get this done so I can get into Just for the Summer, which is also another book I might get into in this vlog. I don't have the physical copy. I have it on my Kindle, so I really want to read that. I'm gonna get this started. I am going to read this and I will let you guys know if I have any more updates today. Let's get the 24 hours started. To give an update because I've officially finished reading Life's Too Short by Abby Jimenez. The timer is on 20 hours and 17 minutes. So I've read for 3 hours and 40-ish minutes, I think. I don't know how to feel about this book, I'm not gonna lie. I do really like the characters. I like both the MMC and the FMC, Adrian and Vanessa. They're very well crafted and I feel like their stories are very interesting, but I have a huge problem with the plot. And this happened with the first book of this interconnected standalone series, in that I feel like the main conflict of this whole book wasn't done very well, poorly researched, poorly executed. I didn't really explain much about this book, but the FMC actually has a terminal illness, or at least she thinks she has a terminal illness. It is hereditary. It is ALS. If you guys do not know what ALS is, if you guys know the Ice Bucket Challenge, ALS is a sickness that created that challenge. Vanessa in this book is supposed to have ALS. Her mom had it, her grandmother had it, and her sister had it. And so she lives her life as though she is going to be dying next year. I feel like there were lots of loopholes with the disease, the diagnosis, lots of lacking components. And also another lacking component is that Vanessa's a YouTuber, but a lot of the things that happen in here doesn't really do her job any justice, and I feel like it just lacks lots of information about her job and what she does and how she does it. It wasn't done very well. Okay, it wasn't done very well. But I did like the relationship. Their romance was great. I wasn't even annoyed with the third act breakup because there's a third act breakup in this. I felt like it made sense for them to separate. The plotting of this book just lacked a lot, and also the ending. I literally do not know how to explain this, but it felt like the conflict that we were going through the whole entirety of this book was literally swept under the rug. And honestly, when I read this book, I had a feeling it was going to be like that, and it happened, and I understand why it happened, but I read 350 pages or nothing. This is definitely not going to be a highly rated book, but we're gonna put the rating off at the end because I need to sit on this for a bit. Right now I'm gonna go to bed because actually it is 11:50 p.m. I will be continuing my read tomorrow. I'm not too sure which book I want to pick up next. I'm thinking of either Yellowface by R.F. Kuang or Rule of the Aurora King by Nature J. Tooley. If I'm lacking sleep, I cannot think very well, so I'm gonna go to sleep first, and then I will see you guys tomorrow, and we'll start the timer again tomorrow. As you guys saw, I got started with Yellowface, and right now my timer is on 19 hours and 38 minutes, and right now I'm at page 62 of Yellowface. I haven't gone too much into it. I've been really busy today, and right now it is 3:30 p.m. so I still have lots of time today. Just wanted to quickly pop in and talk about this book because I have read R.F. Kuang's other book, which is Babel. I have yet to read the Poppy War trilogy, which is I think her debut novel. The way I feel about this and the way I feel about Babel in the initial parts of the story is that R.F. Kuang really likes writing about main characters that are very much not supposed to be a protagonist. With Yellowface and Babel, initially that these characters are absolutely flawed, that their way of thinking is wrong, that the way they are going about the world is wrong, but for some reason as you read on you can understand why they act that way and why they feel that way. It is a very realistic perspective into the way these characters think, and the more you read on, the more you really want to root for these very flawed characters. And sometimes when you stop reading, you realize how amazingly R.F. Kuang has written, to the point where you actually want to think that this character has done such a good job, when in reality she has cheated and lied her way through this. And this story, you're following two authors, following an author called Juniper. She has a friend called Athena who is Chinese in background, and one day a freak accident happened and Athena passed away. Juniper then steals her manuscript and releases that book under the name Juniper Song. The way she validates her actions, it's really interesting. It's really eye-opening. It kind of opens up to the notions of how people think in this world, and also the way you view the world might be different than the way I view the world. Very thought-provoking, and I am having a blast. I know shit's gonna hit the fan, but like how? And I want to know why. I'm gonna read this and then I will catch up with you guys when I have more updates, maybe when I'm done with the book. I am officially done with reading Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. That ending was dark. I wasn't expecting that dark of an ending, and it definitely wasn't a conclusion I was actually expecting. I just finished reading it. It's currently almost 12 a.m. and my thoughts about this is that I really liked the initial plotting of this book, especially the front few pages. Until the middle portion it was great, and then the latter half I felt like went downhill in a sense where the main character, I can understand that this character was made to be extremely flawed, extremely bad, extremely unlikable, but it was to the point where I don't even want to continue reading the story because she was getting on my nerves. And I think in that sense it was difficult for me to read it because I didn't like the character. But also I really liked and enjoyed a lot of the insight you get into the publishing world, even though the way she thinks is obviously awful, but her thought process is just eye-opening. On one hand, I really don't like Juniper, but on the other hand, she's a great character. So I'm not too sure what I'm going to rate this book because I need to sit on it for a bit. But R.F. Kuang, once again, does it with the characters, honestly. Anyway, I'm going to sit on this for a bit, and I am going to pick up my next book because we still have got time on a timer. I didn't read a lot today. I read for about 3 hours. My timer is currently on 17 hours and 10 minutes. is my timer. I'm not gonna pick up another book right now because I want to go to sleep. But next book I'm gonna pick up is a fantasy. I really want to read this. Let me grab it. Rule of the Aurora King by Jade. I'm gonna be buddy reading this with my friend, so I thought it would be a good time to get into it. And this is on Kindle Unlimited, so I really want to read on my Kindle as well. Wow, that was a big yawn. I did enjoy the first book of the series, so I am interested to see how this book is going to go. Because honestly, because I really liked the ending of the first book, that was the only part of the first book I liked. So I want to know how I'm gonna feel about the second book. Because now I think I would like the MMC a lot more. The first book, the MMC, was just trash. I have a facial appointment tomorrow because as you guys can see, I am having really bad acne. I need to wake up early to go in for my facial appointment, and I am going to be picking this up on my Kindle probably, but if we have time, we'll read on the paperback. Yeah, I'm gonna go to sleep. I will see you guys tomorrow with more updates. Hopefully it's fine. That's a little bit dark. Also, if my face looked a little bit red, I had a facial this morning. Book update. I am currently still on Rule of the Aurora King by Jade. Also, I accidentally press delete on my timer. If you guys don't know, the timer on my phone is like this, and sometimes I accidentally press delete instead of resume. But I was at 17 hours and 10 minutes. I remembered the time, so I restarted it, and then now I'm at 14 hours and 44 minutes. Currently 6 p.m. and I'm at chapter 21, page 208 of this book. So thoughts about this book. If you guys don't know, I actually read the first book in a reading vlog as well. You guys can go and check that video out if you want to. I didn't have the greatest impression on the first book, so going into this I was a bit skeptical, but it is a bit better than the first book, I would say. However, I still feel the same way with the main character Lore, in a sense where she's really immature and really childish, throwing tantrums and complaining and screaming like a little kid, but she's in an adult setting and this is an adult book and you're going through lots of politics, and also she has gone through so much in her life and she grew up to be super immature, which honestly I can't really wrap my head around that. To me, Lore is not my favorite main character. I, however, do really like Nadir, who is the MMC in this book, and I really like his position. I really like what he's doing so far, and I like his character thinking more rationally. He's making judgments well. He knows that his actions can cause consequences. Plot is a little bit better than the first one, but obviously we're not really too sure yet. It's going through the same sickness of it being secretive, but honestly, me as the reader, I can literally guess every single plot point in this. It's not really surprising to be reading this at this point, and I'm just reading this for the vibes and for the fun of it all. I don't have the highest of opinions, I guess, about this book. I also do feel like this book is a lot spicier than the first book. It's mostly based on lust, which obviously is not my favorite, but it's fine because I got into it knowing that. I guess that's it, but I am not hating it as much as the first book, that's for sure. Tomorrow's pretty jam-packed though, so I might not be able to read a lot tomorrow, but again, we'll see. I'm gonna meet my friend tomorrow who is also buddy reading this with me, so yeah, I'm gonna update you guys when I have more updates. Finished reading Rule of the Aurora King by Jade. Timer is on 12 hours and 15 minutes. You guys can see that. I'm gonna pick up my next book. We're gonna talk about this at the end of this video. I wanna kind of sit on my thoughts, but it is better than the first book for sure. Now I'm gonna pick up my next book because I am in the reading mood, so I want to pick up my next book, and I have two options here. This one you guys saw in my initial stack of books I want to read. Next of Kin by Hannah Bonham Young, an easy rom-com read, I would say. I think adult, and I just think it's gonna be an easy lighthearted read. And then we have The Call of the Void by S.M. Geiler, book 3 of the Shadows and Crowns series. It's been a while since I've gone into the series again, and honestly I don't remember what happened in the first and the second book, so I feel like, I don't know why, but I really want to pick up a fantasy romance. This is kind of the one I really need to get into because I've been putting this off for a while, so I figured I would do it. I actually read like 22 pages, but I'm gonna restart from the top because I don't remember anything. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read Next of Kin, and if I don't feel like reading a romance, we're gonna jump into this one. So that's my plan, and I will let you guys know what happens at the end. You guys saw, I'm reading Next of Kin by Hannah Bonham Young. Timer is on 10 hours and 48 minutes. And I'm about to go to sleep. Easy rom-com read. I feel like the story is flowing really well. However, I do feel like the romance is moving way too fast. I cannot quite see where the attraction comes from with the story, if you guys don't know. But you're following two characters who want to adopt their siblings. The FMC wants to adopt her baby sister, and the MMC wants to adopt his brother, his little brother. When you go through adoption, there are some things that you have to like pass, and the FMC doesn't pass the financial part of the adoption process, and the MMC doesn't pass the housing portion. So they end up rooming together because the FMC has a really good apartment and he can pay her rent. So far, at least this book is feeling like a 4-star read. If the romance takes a step back for a bit, I'll let you guys go, and I'll see y'all tomorrow, hopefully with a good update. Hi, it's been a while. I filmed snippets from Friday and Saturday, but I didn't really read a lot those 2 days, especially yesterday. I think I read only like 1 hour. I ended up finishing Next of Kin by Hannah Bonham Young when I was outside. I think it was on Friday. This took me a day to finish, I'm pretty sure. I will talk about my thoughts about the books that I read at the end of this video. And I immediately picked up The Call of the Void by S.M. Geiler. Timer is on 6 hours and 48 minutes. And I stopped at 8 hours and 42 minutes on the timer when I finished Next of Kin. So this took me like only 3 hours to finish. And so I've been reading this book for almost 2 hours. And right now I am at page 210. This is chapter 14. Honestly, when I started this book, I don't really remember the first 2 books and the plot and stuff. But when I got into it and I read a few pages, I realized that I actually kind of remember a little bit of what happened in the first 2 books. This is the 3rd book of the Childhood Crown series, by the way. And I feel like this book really dived into a lot of the fantasy elements. Definitely upped its romance game for sure. I think what I really like about this whole series is that I really cannot predict where the plot is going and what's going to happen, which I really like. I feel like with fantasy books, I just really like when it's not predictable at all. The explanations and the world building is done really well in this book. I'm hoping I can get this done by tomorrow, but honestly, probably not. So I'm gonna try my best though. I'm gonna read this, and yeah, I'll catch up with you guys once I have more updates. Hi guys, it is the next day. I don't remember the last time I updated you guys, honestly, but today's a Monday and Mondays are the busiest days for me, and so I have spent the whole day today running errands, doing lots of work, and making sure I have my whole week planned. So I actually haven't done a lot of reading. My timer is currently on 4 hours and 35 minutes. And I basically spent, I think, around 2 hours today reading just now. It's currently 12, almost 12:30 a.m. So it's really late at night. And I have read up until page 460 of The Call of the Void by S.M. Geiler. I have less than 100 pages left to the end. This will probably take me about an hour to finish. And I am going to actually power through and get this book done today. So far with the plot, you are getting to know lots of politics and war, Cassia finding allies in this book, but I also really like the interactions between Cassia and Elander, who are the main characters of this book. I really like that Elander gives her space to grow and mature on her own, trust that she can make her own decisions, to trust that she can go through this whole battle on her own. I just really like that they're independent with their battles, and I like that Cassia isn't a damsel in distress and it doesn't really fall too quickly into all the scheming that's going on in this book. It is a lot of politics, so I've been trying my best to get to really know the world, because honestly, at this point of the book, the world is so complicated. There's so many things going on, so many characters. This book is really where most of the plot thickens, and so you're getting to know lots of new characters, lots of new territories. It's been hard to read it, I'm not gonna lie, but it's been fun in a sense where I feel like finally in this book I'm getting to see the world really get to build very well. So I'm having fun with that. I can really envision the world. I'm gonna go now. I'm going to update you guys tomorrow. Yes, these are my pajamas, and it's Winnie the Pooh and I love it. It's really comfortable. It's been a hot minute since I've actually talked to the camera and updated you guys in this reading vlog. I think it's been 3 days since my last like talking update. I just haven't been reading a lot these past few days. I've been really busy and swamped with work, and I just really wanted to focus on getting my work done because I am leaving next week. I'm going to Bali next week and I want to get some things done before I leave. I've been slowly reading because the book that I'm currently reading, which is Jade Legacy by Fonda Lee, is a book that I do not want to rush my reading with. This is a part of the Green Bone Saga trilogy, I'm pretty sure it's called. This is the last book, and with my experience with the first 2 books, I find that it's so much better, like the reading experience is better if you read it slowly, if you pace your reading and just take the information slowly. So I've been consuming this in a slower pace, and even right now I'm only at chapter 20. This is page 209. My timer is on 20 minutes and 57 seconds if you guys want to know, which means I'm almost done with this whole challenge. So I will be updating you guys once I'm done. And yes, I've been taking things slow with this read. I have been enjoying it, obviously. By the way, if you guys do not know this whole series, you are following Jade. And in this world, Jade is a very important asset. Can be used to enhance and strengthen yourself and makes you a stronger warrior, basically. There's this island of Kakon where only the people, the Kekanese people, are able to use jade. They're the only ones who have the genetic properties to use jade, and if you do not have the genes and you end up wielding jade, you can get the itches. You're basically going to scratch yourself to death, and so being able to wield jade is rare and it's an advantage in this world. You're following 2 rivaling clans. You're following mainly the No Peak clan, and it's a story about their lives and their people and how they kind of go through the war that goes on with the clans, the politics that goes on with the other countries of this whole universe. And I really liked this whole series. The second book, Jade War, I rated 4.5 stars. I really like the characters, and the thing about this whole world is that you're following so many characters, but all of them have their pros and cons. They're all flawed, but they're human and they make mistakes, and you just kind of end up getting really emotionally attached to every single one of them. So when things happen to these characters, you're on a roller coaster ride. I'm only 200 pages in and I've been going through a roller coaster ride with this. What I can say is that the plot of this book, especially, it's really dense. There's so many things going on. There's so many new information that I didn't expect to read, because I feel like there's so much politics that was created in the second book that I feel like you can always follow that with this book, but then you're adding on so much more. So the information, the world is so well done. It's so dense. It's so compact. You don't know what's gonna happen next. I'm gonna continue reading this, but tomorrow I'll probably be done with the timer and we can finally end this readathon because it's been taking a while for me to end it. With that being said, I will see you guys tomorrow morning with hopefully a great update. Hey guys, I am here to officially end this reading vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this, and also we're going to talk quickly about all of the books I read in this vlog. The book that I'm currently reading is Jade Legacy by Fonda Lee, as you guys know, and right now I am at page 222. So I've read this much and I officially finished the timer yesterday night. So I am up to 222, and then I'm going to talk about the other books that I read in this reading vlog that I actually finished. First book I got done reading is Life's Too Short by Abby Jimenez, and if you guys know, I did not enjoy this book as much. I did like the writing. It was really witty. I love the banter and I love how they met. But throughout the whole plot, I felt like just something lacked, and then the ending was a cop-out. So this ended up being a 2.5 stars, my lowest rated Abby Jimenez book so far. And hopefully it stays that way because this is one of her backlists, and I understand that maybe she has improved in her writing now. And then I read Yellowface by R.F. Kwong, and up until now I'm still kind of confused on how I feel about the book. I definitely did feel like the main character, June, was an enigma. She was very different than a lot of the other main characters I've read. There are so many faults in her and she's very flawed. The way she thinks is very skewed, and the way she kind of rationalizes her actions are just unjustifiable in my opinion. And so in the beginning it was really interesting to read a point of view where you know that she's in the wrong, but then as things go on it didn't feel as interesting. It just felt really irritating and annoying, and I'm somebody who really thrives on main characters that I like, and if I'm reading a book where the main character is not even a character that I like, I find it really difficult for me to push forward with the book. It was a very eye-opening experience, but I felt like the reading experience wasn't as good. So I'm in between a 3 to a 3.25, but I think a 3 stars. So I think I'm gonna set it at that right now. I still love R.F. Kuang's writing, but this wasn't like the best experience for me, and I completely understand why. And then I read Rule of the Aurora King by Nisha J. I think, and I'm not too sure if I talked about this book or not, but overall thoughts is that I like this more than the first book. I definitely felt like Nadir's character in this book is a lot better. And I also felt like Lore isn't as stupid as the first book. But I think she's irritating, I think she's immature, I think she doesn't have any thoughts. She likes to throw tantrums like a little kid, and I just do not like the way she views things, the way she challenges things. It doesn't make any sense. But I really like Nadir's character, and so this ended up being a 2-star read because I felt like the plot of the book was also really lacking, and the 2 stars really comes from Nadir's character. I really like his character. I felt like he just embodies the typical male main character, but I really like that kind of male main character, so I like Nadir's character. World building wasn't done very well, and there was just not much information about the magic system, so it was really odd to see them play their magic, but I don't really understand where it comes from, how it's so unique to them as a person. It's not really well explained, and lots of loopholes, lots of plot lines where I feel like things could have been done better and explained better, and so this was definitely not the best. Then I read On a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young, and I did not like this book. I did not like it at all. I'm pretty sure I didn't talk about this book at all because I read this the whole time when I was outside, so I only filmed little clips. But overall, this book I did not enjoy at all. It was a really hard read because I didn't enjoy any of the characters, and I felt like the romance line in particular was one of the weirdest romance I've ever read. And I did like the plot of the familial relationships that you get in here, but I did not like the romance line between the FMC and MMC. I felt like the romance, it just went very deep and very serious so quickly without any context. I couldn't see where their attraction came from in the beginning, and it was just weird for them to really love each other to the point of like extreme care for no apparent reason. And there were lots of scenes where I felt like it was tell and no show. I couldn't really grasp the romantic relationship. It was really weird. I didn't enjoy it. I'm not sure what I rated this. I think I'm in between like a 1.25 to 1.5. Last book I finished is The Call of the Void by S.M. Geiler. This is the 3rd book in the Shadowstone Crown series. This was definitely better than the first 2 books, I have to admit. Well, not definitely better than the first 2 books, but definitely better than the 2nd book. I didn't really like the 2nd book, and so going into this was a bit difficult because I had preconceived notions of the 2nd book. But this one I really liked. I liked seeing the politics and the war. I really liked seeing the growth of Kassia's character, the FMC, and I just really liked seeing her battle through her emotions and her decisions and the way she views the world a little bit differently, the way she takes on her relationships a little bit differently. I really like seeing her growth. It was one of the best ones I've seen so far. The relationship the FMC, Kassia, and Elander, the MMC, has is just really wholesome and really heartwarming, built on mutual respect. And so there was lots of understanding and trust in their relationship, and I just really liked seeing how they venture through all of the politics and all of the battles they have to face with their relationship, but being super strong about it. But I think it's gonna be like a 4-star. I did really enjoy it. It's to the point where I really want to read the 4th book because I did enjoy the plot in this. The reason why it's not higher than a 4-star is just because I feel like there's something missing, especially with the romance line. And also, with a book like this, I feel like there's no need for spice to be included. It really takes away from the plot, and that's why it's a 4 stars, because there is like, I think 2 spice scenes, and I just feel like with this kind of plot, I really would appreciate if it was more focused on the fantasy and not really the spice scenes. And obviously the last book I read is Jade Legacy, and I have not finished it, so I'm not going to be rating it, but I can tell you guys it's going to be a high rating. And that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this reading vlog, and I know this took a while for me to finish the 24 hours, but I still had loads of fun reading these, and I also had so much fun reading so many books. I can't believe I read 6 books, even though I didn't finish the last one, but I still read 6 books. So yeah, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed. If y'all read any of the books I read in this video and you guys have some thoughts about it, please let me know in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!